It is draft week, and I brought in the pros, specifically D-Bro over from Fantasy Pros and Thor over from Fantasy Life. We got the giggles, guys. Is it because of the draft? Is it because we gave D-Bro an excellent idea called the Dibble? I'll let you know in the cold open. But we got rookie tiers here. We're going to go through most of these rookie classes here. I went and pulled D-Bro's rankings, and I made some of my own, and we're going to have Thor here roast us as we go through this tier list right here on the Fast Draft Pod. All right, guys, as promised, we got a tier list, and normally I start from the bottom from the top, but because this is rookies, we're going to start from the top to the bottom because it is so boring, and I mean that in the best ways possible. In tier S, we've got Ashton, Jeanty, Tet McMillan, Cam Ward, and Shedeur Sanders. I'm not going to lie, D-Bro, I was surprised that you had Shedeur so highly. I came in ready to fight, dog. I was just like, I got to defend my Colorado boy. And then I was like, oh, he's ranked higher than me. And I lost all my ammo. So like I lost all my wind here. Do you think we have prospect for fatigue on Shedeur Sanders?
Dude, we have prospect fatigue on so many of these top end guys.
All of them.
Like, you mean seriously? Like, people are talking about Ashton, Jeanty's not his own tier. Tetairoa McMillan's not the wide receiver one of this class. Like, we are fatigued to hell and back, dude. So yes, I think it's fatigue. I also think it's just popular to hate on Shedeur. And a lot of this is just, what people don't like his dad. They don't like the way that he carries himself. They have a hard time understanding the difference between confidence and cockiness. I mean, just name it. I mean, just trait after trait after trait. So, yeah, I love Shedeur. He's been my quarterback one of this class and remains my quarterback one of this class.
I'm mad. I'm honestly mad. Thor, you got anything here? Because I just agree.
Shedeur Sanders, my quarterback one in this class.
Yes!
Shedeur Sanders, give me one. Yeah,
Shedeur Let's Sanders, go.
Yeah, like and the narrative has gotten away from it, and I think a part of it, the media is doing, some of that aspect is clicks, and they don't really understand the subject they're talking about. But I think reticence coming from NFL buildings, it don't have nothing to do with Shedeur as a person. It has to do with the looming presence of Deion Sanders. And if that coaching staff were to take Shedeur Sanders, especially if that team had already taken Travis Hunter earlier in the draft at number 2 overall, but we can talk about that later. But would a coaching staff that is on the hot seat, you begin struggling, you start all 1-4, 1-5, will the fan base be showing up in the front of the stadium with pitchforks, get me out of here, and bring in Deion Sanders in the offseason? I think that's the concern that is inside buildings, the legitimate one,
That's actually an angle I didn't even think about. It's like when you have a backup quarterback that's good back there. It's like as soon as he throws an interception, that building is going to be chanting for the backup to come in. Do we buy anything? Because I don't know. You guys are been in this a little bit longer than me. This is like year 3 or 4 for me. And I see this every year. We have these reports that he's doing bad in interviews, blah, blah, blah. This happens, and then the draft comes around, and it's fine. Because if you listen to these interviews, he's coming in like Dylon for making the band, where he's just like, the 5 best quarterbacks alive are Shedeur, and I don't think that he would go into an interview that stupid because his dad knows. Like, I feel like his dad would have coached him up.
For sure. Yeah. And I don't think he is, to that degree. There's been a couple of reports where I think it was like an anonymous source saying, something negative, and then those get aggregated and they get blown up. If you look at, you guys read the Bob McGinn series, right? Where he goes, it's all the anonymous scout quotes. Mm-hmm. You get negative scout quotes about everyone. Those guys are salty bastards. And if you grant them anonymity, they're gonna speak like the sailors they are. So I mean, like, I think that's what it is. There's an amplifying effect with the messaging because of the player. The public knows them more, which of course leads to more clicks. And in our industry, those are monetized. So the person who's writing the stories has every incentive. Anything they can write about Shedeur, particularly if it's negative, because it's going to do numbers.
Well, especially
Dude,
because the kid believes in himself, and he's very vocal about believing in himself, and he has a dad. The thing that I think gets lost in the sauce is twofold for Shedeur. One, does anybody gonna like step out and understand the pressure that he has been under since the time he put on a football helmet? Like as the son of Deion Sanders playing quarterback, he's lived under that pressure for the entirety of his life. So the fact that he's succeeded, it's not like he was a no-star prospect. This is not a Nepo baby we're talking about. He's earned everything that he's gotten to this point. The other side of it is that we want to talk about year after year after year. It's a talking point that never gets brought up with Shedeur, but it's like you want to talk about how we don't want to see a lot. Like in the media, we talk about, with this quarterback's going to a horrible situation, blah, blah, blah. And yet people want to flame Deion because he's like, hell no, I don't want my son to go to a terrible organization or a team that's going to ruin him. We discuss this in the media constantly. How many quarterbacks were ruined by bad landing spots? And because what? Deion's been in the NFL and he knows it's a reality. We all talk about it as a reality, but he puts it out there in the space. And it's like, no, there's certain teams we don't want. He doesn't want to go and play for. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that a wrong thing to say? Well, guess what? All 32 teams or 31 other teams. Guess what? If you weren't a total dumpster fire, then maybe Shedeur Sanders would want to play for some of these teams.
And he has gone.
Looking at you, Browns.
I mean, that was one comment in the fall, which got a lot of play, but he did. It was like a month ago say, we're obviously good with anywhere. I mean, Deion, there is posturing there sometimes, right? Like, and I think there was in that moment in the fall, I think it was some bravado from I think he was trying to make the point Shedeur's going to go one. Shedeur ain't going to go one. At that point, you don't have as much control over your destiny, and the posture thing, it doesn't really work. So, yeah, again, like the media, they're constant harping on him and the negative tint to it. That's what sells. And I think the trepidation thing, I think the real aspect of that inside buildings, I think it has to do with job security. Browns and Giants, two of the most bandied about teams for him. Both of those coaching staffs and front offices are on the hottest of seats that we have in the NFL. You could understand a bit of trepidation, either of those coaching staff. Even if you're the friggin' defensive back coach, right? Like you've worked all your life for that. You have a family, you have 3 kids, you have a house, you have a mortgage. And it's like, yeah, maybe Shedeur would help us. Maybe that helps my situation. But maybe we get fired in early October and now we're calling up the moving trucks. And now my career is, no longer progressing. So I think that's a real thing.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I love what you even said about the clips because it's like it's our industry here too. About let's say something about Shedeur because I was like, cool, we have cool takes about Shedeur. That's going to be my short and promo from here because that's how the game works, guys. And I love that you're so honest about it. Now, I want to talk about Cam Ward. Tet's fine, guys. He's fine. That's all I'm going to say. I think all these guys agree. He's fine. Cam Ward, I see the arm talent. I see a lot there. I have concerns about processing. He holds on to that ball a long time and he plays, let's just say it's schoolyard bullshit sometimes. And that for me is a red flag because we see this year after year after year. We're like, well, this guy's got all the talent in the world, but because the college football landscape has kind of shifted to make it easier for quarterbacks, that's made it harder for them in the NFL. Thor, we'll start with you. Do you have any concerns with that with Cam Ward or at all? Or do you just think that he's slightly worse than Shedeur Sanders, but still probably pretty good?
All three. I'm going to check all 3 boxes there. Yes. Am I concerned? Yeah, I am. That's the reason I have him lower than Shedeur. Cam Ward's got the better arm for sure. Right. In terms of that, but it's the decision making and the seeing the field. Right. And prior to the year at Miami, which by the way, Cam Ward was in the most advantageous, ideal situation you possibly could have been. Cam Ward wanted to be in the draft last year. The NFL told him you're a 5th round pick. He's like, all right, well, maybe I'll listen to offers then. And then Miami came through with the offer that got him to Coral Gables. Now you're in Shandon Dawson's offense. He has, it's the video game numbers. He came from Houston. And Tank Dell put up his video game numbers. Clayton Tune looked good in that offense. You're playing in that offense. 3 receivers in this class that were at the NFL Combine, right? Restrepo George and Sam Brown. You have a round 2 tight end in Arroyo. You have a round 3 running back in Martinez, maybe even 2. We'll see. And playing behind a good offensive line. in the dog shit ACC. Can I swear? Or was I?
Yeah. Well, it's free reign.
I think I already opened that cap for you earlier.
in the dog shit ACC, and it was the first year where statistically he had a better season than Shedeur Sanders. It's like he should have, right? If you put Shedeur Sanders on Miami last year, they would be building a friggin' statue of Shedeur Sanders in Coral Gables right now. He would have been your Heisman winner. So like it's Shedeur Sanders, you were playing behind a Swiss cheese offensive line at Colorado for 2 years. Colorado team that was one of the worst teams in the FBS when you arrived. They went 1-11. Certainly was by far the worst one in the Power 5 - what became 4, right? Like right then. But you turn that around to become a Big 12 contender your last season. They nearly made the Big 12 title game, right? And then it's one win and you're in. But you're playing behind a Swiss cheese offensive line both those years. No 8 of a running game. You did play with Travis Hunter, yes, but the defense knew what was coming, and they could tee off. They could pin their ears back in the pass rush. And that's what ended up happening. Why did he face more pressures? Because of that. The defense knew what was coming. They could tee off on a bad offensive line. So it was a totally different situation. But you compare the bodies of work, the 5 years of Cam Ward to the 4 years of Shedeur Sanders starting over the body of it, there's no question. It was Shedeur Sanders. And yes, again, Cam Ward had the better statistical season in the much better situation. The last thing I'll say, Jagger, the turnover-worthy play rate for Cam Ward, 3 times as high as Shedeur Sanders last year. That was Cam Ward, again, by far his best season, right? Prior to that, when he was at Wazoo and then earlier on at Incarnate Word, there was a lot of the nonsense right after the snap with screens and pre-delineated reads for him. I believe you wonder why through 4 years 4 years with Ward, why through his first 4 years working with Eric Morris, who by the way discovered him throwing on the sidelines of an Incarnate Word summer tryout or whatever, like with the recruits or whatever, like 0-star recruit, of course, that was the only offer that he had. Why would that guy after 3 years, then 4 years, why is there so much stuff where it's the immediate, you're throwing the screen pass out there and then, we're doing all this nonsense right after the snap, right around the line of scrimmage? I believe it was because Eric Morris was saving and inoculating Cam Ward from himself, from the elevated turnover thing. Look back at his numbers at Wazoo. The ADOT is shockingly low for a player whose arm is as good as that. Then he goes to Miami. Of course, you're playing with the better supporting cast. And I will grant Cam Ward's game took a step forward this year. Absolutely. But again, ideal circumstance and that turnover-worthy play rate, it remains static, but it was already high, right? 3 times higher than Shedeur Sanders. It didn't drop any this year. The explosive play rate did go up, but you're playing around all NFL players. You have a better supporting cast than your opponent every single game. So it's like, you look at the bodies of it and the full evaluation, forget what you know and what the media tells you about all that stuff. Shedeur Sanders' tape is better.
God, this brings. I'm going to finish one last point because we cooking here, folks. Shedeur Sanders, everyone's like, well, I don't think he can process. He played in a Pat Shurmur offense, which is an NFL offense, and we're going to play a little game, guys. Without Googling, if you could name any running back that was on Colorado, please drop that in the comments. All right, before we go any further,
I can.
If you guys, I know you can.
You don't count.
Yeah, you don't count.
Okay.
You don't count. No.
If you like content like this, hit the like and subscribe button. More importantly, our Origins draft is still rolling. We have the Origins Chaos that just opened up. It's rookies only. You can still get advantages. Like right now, we're telling you where the advantages lie, so you can get in all the way through the draft. Right now, you can use my code that's on the screen fast. You can use Jagger. We all 3 probably have codes on here somewhere. So you can go to fastdraft.app, whatever. Everything will be in the description. And we'll be right back going to our A tier right after this ad. All right, to the A tier. We got TreVeyon Henderson, Omarion Hampton, Tyler Warren, Kaleb Johnson, Jaxson Dart, Travis Hunter. I'm going to start with Hendo here, who I have ranked 3. Debro, you have 7. This feels like more of a positional value type thing here, where you got some wide receivers. So that's like, I'm not coming in hot to argue or anything. I think you're with me. Henderson, it is the receiving profile and that juice that puts him ahead of Hampton. Again, guys, just because we like one player more than the other, they're in the same tier. It's just slight things that put him ahead of it. But I have the hot take that Henderson in the right landing spot could have the same fantasy value at the end of the day as Ashton Jeanty. D-Bro, am I crazy to have that thought?
If he land, are we just saying the nut spot he lands in Denver? Is that where we're going with that?
That's one. That's one of them. I think Denver's a great spot.
So I'll disagree with him being at the same level of Jeanty. Now, if you were going to tell me he is the RB2 of this class, I won't push back on you at all with that. With Jeanty, I think the differentiator with him and Trey is that TreVeyon Henderson, I don't think gets the volume that Jeanty has the volume ceiling for. Like Henderson, and that's where I think the split is for me. Like I could see the pass game upside. I could see the big play stuff. I could see all of that with Trey. I mean, TreVeyon Henderson's my RB3 in this class. Like he's in my tier 2 and I have him over Omarion Hampton. I think just the volume ceiling, and I do think that he's still better. Jeanty's still better than Trey as far as a pass catcher too. So I'm not pushing back hard, but I think that's where I draw the line at. But I'm with you that, I mean, dude, anybody that has TreVeyon Henderson as RB2 in this class, like I'm not pushing back on that, dude. I'm totally with it. Over Hampton, I'm there.
I guess where, like, let me rephrase that. I don't think he's like going to be the same level. It's like a Bijan Gibbs situation for me, where like Bijan's he's better than Gibbs because one, Gibbs isn't as big and can't, so like naturally he can't do the same things. But because of where Gibbs is right now, let's say like whatever best ball tournament you're in, I'm mix and match and exposure. Like sometimes I'll take Gibbs first. Sometimes I'll take Bijan first. That's what I'm talking about. If we're talking about pure NFL, you're going to want Jeanty on here. Thor, I'll kick one over to you on Tyler Warren here. I like Tyler Warren a lot. I can't pay fantasy prices for Tyler Warren because I really like Colston Loveland. I like Mason Taylor. I like on tight ends, I guess, on here. Is Tyler Warren as good as people are saying, or am I crazy?
Yeah, he is. Tyler Warren is going to be a fantasy stud, I think, from day one. Because wherever he goes, this was my thing with Brock Bowers last year. He's a manufactured touch guy, and the organization that's taking him, they intend to manufacture those touches that will be sufficient to be a fantasy star right away. I think Tyler Warren is landing spot. It doesn't matter. Wherever he goes, he will be a fantasy star from day one. I think the guy where it matters is Loveland. Because Loveland, I love his skill, right? And he can win further down the field more consistently than Warren can. I mean, hell, you could even, if you wanted to argue about like value to the NFL, it could probably be closer. But like Loveland, you need to play in a 12 personnel offense, right? You have to have at Michigan, it was AJ Barner was the inline guy, and then he would D-Bro knows how much I love AJ Barner. But Loveland was the big slot guy, right? And you can play a little boundary. You can put him on inline every now and again, but if you put him up against a power edge and you're running the ball that direction, he's going to get ragdolled and the power edge is going to make the play. It just is what it is. So if he can find that situation and then the quarterback that can get the ball to him second, third level of the field, that's where he can do damage. But it's like, how long will that take? Will he find the right situation, etc.? But I mean, Colston Loveland he's just a huge receiver, right? He's going to be the big slot in the NFL predominantly. Like I said, I think a percentage of his snaps, I think he'll play on the boundary as well. But to me, he is more tied to the context that he's in. He needs to find a good situation.
I love that you just got your mandatory one mention of AJ Barner in here.
Yeah,
I love how you wove that in.
I set him up, I guess.
That's very nice. Just kind of wove it in there, a little patch.
I hit the under.
Yeah, okay.
on the first AJ Barner reference.
For now.
Yeah.
No. Then over to D-Bro, you have Jaxson Dart as 4. I'm going to talk out of both sides with Jaxson Dart. I think there is a lot to love about Jaxson Dart, and I could see someone taking a flyer in the first round. I cannot rank him highly because I'm worried if he's going to be an orchid QB. And when I say this, these are QBs that only bloom in the perfect situation possible. And that's me giving credit to Lane Kiffin. He's got a great situation. It's why I don't like Trey Harris, but can that really translate? We'll get there. I know. I know. I can see.
My
Just
Lord. Okay.
yeah.
I don't even know where to start to unpack this at. Okay. All right.
Start with the Dart stuff. We'll get to the Harris stuff. We'll have a whole segment on Trey Harris.
So everything with Jaxson Dart, I'm evaluating the film. I understand a lot of people's issues with Lane Kiffin's offense. The other thing about it, if you turn on the film, Jaxson Dart has the arm strength to make every single throw. He has the ball placement to make every single throw, and he layers the ball on second level. He has, arguably the best deep ball in this class. It's just a fact, man. If you turn on the film, that's what I care about, because I see shades of the same things that were people. I know people have questions and problems with the offense, and they say, well, are you going to scheme of this? Or there's times, dude, you can go through the film. Dart gets to his second, to his third read. Is it every freaking snap? No. And then people want to talk about, oh, well, he plays a lot from shotgun. You just described every damn college quarterback out there. Almost all of them play from shotgun. So, what are we talking about? Oh, but that's not a talking point for Cam Ward, because it's not sexy to hate on Cam Ward.
Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams.
But yeah, Thor knows how much in a bind I was with Caleb Williams, ranking him QB3 last year, and I caught 10 types of shit for that, but it wasn't wrong. So with Dart this year, man, you hear, and I'm just going to go back to last year's class. Didn't you hear a lot of stuff out there about Jaden Daniels only throws go balls and slot fades, and it's limited, and he's not that good, and I'm going to own an L here? Didn't we do a lot of this same shit with Bo Nix last year, where it was like, oh, he can't do this and this and this and this and this, and I was in that contingent? Are we so sure that the more we talk about the NFL game becoming like the college game, there's more RPOs, and people talk about, oh, well, yeah, but Jaxson Dart and Ole Miss use a ton of play action. Don't we in the same breath talk about the smart NFL coordinators in the NFL right now use motion and play action, and yet we're going to use that to shade Jaxson Dart? But then when we talk about other NFL offenses, and it's like, oh, they use a lot of play action, that guy's smart. Okay, but then we're going to say his numbers are fraudulent, but you turn on the film and he hits guys in stride. He has a good deep ball. He's good under pressure. Plus, you talk about the ability that he has with his legs. Yeah, man, Thor's old enough to remember when we both caught shade on J.J. McCarthy, and I listened to bad narratives about him. I'm not saying that Jaxson Dart is a finished product, but he's got every tool in the bag, man.
That's why I said I don't disagree with you. And you want to talk like Thor, I know you could see this too. I'm going to say it. He who must not be named. Arthur Smith has a very QB-friendly system right there.
A lot of play action, a lot of deep balls. Yep.
A lot of play action, a lot of deep balls. What's Jaxson Dart good at? It? I swear to this is what I was going to say right now. As of today, recording April 21st, Jaxson Dart is here. If he goes to the Steelers, he's
I don't think he gets past the Saints at 9. I'm going to say that right here. I don't think he gets past the Saints at 9.
I won't hate it, and it's more like he's one where I don't know if the NFL likes him as much as fantasy Twitter. Travis Hunter, I have him at 6. I'm just ready. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. Debro has him at 16. Thor, who's right?
You.
Thank you.
That's my easiest one of the day. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So he's definitively playing full-time wide receiver. That's happening, right? We're going to just go ahead and say that, and we know that that's set in stone.
He will be playing most of the passing downs for his offense in year 1. Yes.
So how much cornerback do you think he's playing in that?
I think he'll play
third down and to me 2-minute drill. That's what I would do.
I think he plays.
How does that math? So you have a CB3 that you're taking off the field whenever Travis Hunter wants to run out there and play cornerback snaps?
No, he can play like 85% on D, and he's gonna play like 40 to 45 on O, but it's gonna be all of the passing snaps. You're gonna yank him off the field on any obvious runs, any short yards. There ain't no. You don't need to get cute here. It's Travis freaking Hunter. When he's walking onto the field, the ball's going in the air. Try to stop him. Good luck. That's what it is. If that's the
case, then he would be in my tier 1 for wide receivers, and I'm open to moving him up. But As we sit right now, we still don't know the landing spot.
Wait, did you just say you're open to considering that you were wrong and making changes?
No, I'm saying definitively.
Okay, because I thought that was going to be the first time in our relationship.
You don't know what his role in his snaps are going to be any more than I do.
Okay.
None of us know.
None
of us know, and you don't.
Okay, I was going to put it in my diary later.
See, I'm not. Well, we will FaceTime when you pull out your diary. We can both go through the entry together. It'll be a good time. We'll like candles.
Done. Yeah. Well, we'll co-write it. The entry.
People think we're joking. That probably might actually happen.
Yeah, I was like, from just this short time I've spent with both of you, I could feel the tension in the room and believe it would happen. To me, like Travis Hunter is your Jaxson Dart. You're like, yeah, I believe all that stuff. I'm just tentative. That's why I'm not going to argue too hard on that. And with that, we're going to jump down to the B tier, where we have Matthew Golden, Emeka Egbuka, Colston Loveland, Jalen, Noel, Elic, Ayomanor, Quinshon, Judkins, Luther Burden III. This is fun because there's just like, we have a couple that are the same, but we have a lot of chaos in here. I'm going to start with the easy one. I love how reasonable you are in Emeka Egbuka. A lot of people are like, if I say that, like, I'm not even sure he's a first round NFL player, but if he goes to X team, I will be okay. I just think he's a little bit more scheme dependent, and he is a better football player than he is a fantasy asset. And a lot of people jump my ass for that.
I just don't understand what the problem is. Everybody talks about these wide receivers in this class, and they say there's no elite guys. Everybody's wide receiver twos and all this. Do y'all all have a problem with 120 to 130 targets every single year? Do we have a problem with that? Like, if I'm telling you you're getting Devontae Smith level production volume over the next 3 to 4 seasons, is anybody really hating on that shit in fantasy? Like, that's the where I don't really understand it. It's like,
when you put it like that, I don't, but I'm not sure.
But if he's a wide receiver in an NFL offense and he goes in the late first or second round of an NFL of the NFL draft, and he is the wide receiver 2 of an offense, like let's say he goes to Tennessee, he gets 120 targets. Why is that not a really good thing? And because we don't see top 5, top 10 dynasty ceiling on a guy, and he's going to be a wide receiver 2, and we know we're getting a zone beating option. I mean, basically he's the less sexier version of JSN 2.0, but that's a problem. People love JSN, but they don't like Egbuka enough. Like that's why I can't square that.
I just said he wasn't Jesus. I didn't say I hate him.
But nobody's talking about him like that. If anything, everybody's talking about him like he doesn't have a ceiling and he's this, but we know what he is. Well, what he is really damn good. Like,
I think his ceiling at best is Ayomanor. I don't think he's a skilled.
And that's what is Ayomanor though? You're talking about a top 5 dynasty wide receiver that you just.
But he's a skilled route runner. I think Emeka Egbuka is Rashee Rice. I'm just gonna say it, but I know, man. I know.
Jagger.
I'm a Rashee Rice hater. I'm a known Rashee Rice hater.
You're making my case for me, dude.
I know, dude. It's weird.
You're making it for me.
Yeah. Thor, you want to jump in here?
I mean, no, Thor. He just let him continue to put the dirt on top. It's fine.
I'm just saying, Rashee Rice, to quote Matt Harmon, he has a route bush, baby. It's all drags.
Phrasing? Are we worried about phrasing with that? Is there phrasing?
No, for the clicks, guys. Everyone say phrasing in the comments to leave a timestamp. It's a route bush.
Wait, what are the differences of the rankings? Debro has him 3. But Jagger, where do you have him?
No, Debro has him 11 overall. I guess 3 wide receiver 3.
Wide receiver.
I have him after Golden. I have him. I'm pretty low on Egbuka. I have him. He's like ranked 15 for me. Like I have him. I have Elic Ayomanor ahead of Egbuka.
Wow.
I have Luther Burden. Like I'm a wild one. I know. I'm wild.
You know, this really pains me to say. No. Some of the hardest words to say in the English language. I'm going to send this like a glorious tea. Go ahead. Let's get comfortable for this. I know where it's going. Go ahead.
Hold on. Go ahead, Thor.
D-Bro's right. That hurt.
Oh my God, that tastes so good.
I'm going to let you savor it. I'm going to let him have it.
It tastes so good.
I know. And the thing is, it's like, everyone thinks I'm crazy. I just think Rashee Rice outside of that system is average at best. He's a slot merchant. And I know everyone's like, but he's always going to be there. Excuse me. He's a slant merchant. He's like what we thought Michael Thomas was when we thought he sucked. Like he was just injured, like to me, he's just a slant king. And I don't trust that I don't trust that in any environment. All these other wide receivers, I think, can make it anywhere. And I don't think Emeka Egbuka. And I mean, for fantasy guys, you roast me in the comments. I've already done it. I've dealt with this. I know I'm wrong.
With wide receiver 7, wide receiver 4.
I said when we
6,
said
wide receiver
when
1,
he fell off.
points
No,
per
I'm saying
game
when he fell off.
seasons,
When everyone called him Slant Boy. When everyone's called him Slant Boy.
Well, Slant Boy was putting up a lot of fantasy points.
Okay. Guys, I get it. I'm crazy.
You're making the case for me, Jagger. I'm not making.
But Slant Boy died after like 3 years, essentially, because he couldn't do
3
anything.
years of dominance.
All right. Let's move down the list.
4.
Then.
Sorry, 4 years of dominance. My bad.
Why not Elic Ayomanor? Why not? Tell me, Thor. Why not him?
No, I like his in a super shitty receiving class. Like I like him, beyond the sure things for the ceiling. But I there's risk there, right? But there's also an embedded floor where he could at least have a role if he doesn't advance further. It's not going to be much value though, but he can win down the field. He's a really good athlete. I think he's underrated with that. Like it was funny at the combine. I asked him at his podium session, like, you came from Canada, you picked up the sport late, you went to a college where they had a terrible passing offense. I said, like, are you viewing your athletic testing as like sort of the opportunity to put your name on the map? And he started laughing and he's like, yeah, I think it's funny. People don't think I'm a good athlete. He's like, I was a track star, and he went out and showed that he's a track star, but I like his ability to win down the field and he's kind of a dog. He has the athleticism, the north-south, right? I mean, he's not going to beat you east to west, but as far as a guy that you keep on a straight line, I like the ball skills too. He obviously showed against a generational prospect in 2023 that he can go up and get it and compete for balls. Detonated Travis Hunter in that game against Colorado. But he's raw still, and there's some things you're never going to get from him. Maybe it's not a route bush, but maybe it's what's in the middle. D-Bro, help me with my horticulture metaphor.
Yeah, a shrub. I feel like a shrub is smaller than a bush. Is it like
it's been trimmed to look like a goose. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, that's
but bigger crazy, somewhere in the. I'll work on it for next time. But like you're keeping them north south, so naturally you're gonna have to prune that tree down a little bit. But I think there's utility there. I think it's a decently high ceiling again for a shitty receiver class, and he at least has one utility, even if you don't develop any further.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's my special boy, and I'm gonna draft him often. What's crazy. And I will say, here's where the risk is baked in. I could not have a solid comp. So I would ask Thor, but I'll just go ahead and get it from the source. D-Bro, what's your comp?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Why did you give me that? He's going to clip that shit. He's going to send it to me all the time now.
I love it.
Oh, man. Gotta clip it.
Oh, like I can walk off this show right now and die a happy man.
I can kind of watch him texting me that clip now. It's unbelievable.
Jagger, please clip it and send it to me.
I will.
Live on in infamy for the rest of my days.
Cut that thing out and delete it from the face of this search trigger. Don't give him the satisfaction of that. Clip see the later day.
I think we might. The funny thing is, I think we actually might have a different comp on Elic between the two of us.
Let's hear yours.
My comp is Michael Wilson. What is yours, Thor?
Okay, I went back in the time machine a little bit.
Okay.
Don't say Michael Crabtree. Don't say Michael Crabtree.
No, not Michael Crabtree. I went Braylon Edwards.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
Okay. That's a deep cut. I like that.
Yeah.
I
like that.
Mine was a Michael Crabtree, Robert Woods baby. And I don't know what that looks like. It could be an ugly baby. It could be pretty cool. I'm not sure. We'll find out.
If it comes out looking like Michael Woods, then we're not too happy. But, if it comes out looking like it might not be great. If it comes out looking like Robert Crabtree, then maybe.
We keep talking about trees, and then your comps were a crab tree in a woods.
Yep.
We're now
That's
deep
fair.
in the forest.
Okay, you get an award
Thank
for
you.
a pun there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
D-Bro, last one in this tier. Quinshon Judkins, why do you hate him? Go.
Mm-hmm.
Dramatically.
Answer to your crimes, D-Bro.
I have no crimes. If anything, everybody else is being blasphemous with their rankings, because if you look at it statistically, how the hell do you make a conversation for a guy being a top 5 running back in this Stoke class that ranked 121st and 82nd in yards after contact per attempt over the last 2 years, 41st and 128th in breakaway percentage, 95th and 66th in elusive rating? Oh, but he went to the Ohio State. Oh, but he got volume. Oh, but he was really good and he went to a helmet college. Like, people can get out of here with this, man. Like, I don't understand all the Quinshon Judkins. Apparently people just love like hot, nasty volume that gets just as much as what's blocked for them. Okay,
we drafted
cool.
Rashad White 4 years in a row for that.
So. Don't put, there ain't no we there. I didn't. When we.
Okay. I disagree. I don't know. I think he's fine.
Dude is more likely just new Keyshawn Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
D-Bro said some numbers, but don't ask me about math.
Tell me what are those numbers? What do you like any of those numbers, or do any of those numbers scream top 5 running back in this class? Tell me if I'm wrong.
Severance for me. I'm like, these numbers seem bad. I don't know why. It's all severance. Just I don't know what's going on. If you've seen that show, Thor, what is your opinion? Why is D-Bro wrong?
I actually know in this case why D-Bro is wrong, as in most cases. D-Bro, you just heard him wax poetic about Jaxson Dart. He tried to commandeer the show from you, Jagger. He tried to commandeer it so he could bring the conversation to Trey Harris. He loves Jordan Watkins too. He loves Lane Kiffin. D-Bro is a closeted Lane Kiffin stan. Judkins left Lane Kiffin on the altar. D-Bro has never forgiven him for that, and he's taking it out on him now in his draft evaluation. Take off your blinders, D-Bro.
Dude using 2 a.m. texts against me on the show. Oh, I see you. I see you, Thor.
That's what it is. He's still mad at Quinshon for leaving his boy Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. I said one positive thing about Jordan Watkins, and now I'm a Lane Kiffin. Like, I'm bending the knee to Lane Kiffin.
You love Trey. You love Jaxson Dart. We're going to find out later in the show you love Ulysses Bentley, too. And Katie.
I hadn't actually watched him. Can't even say that, but who knows? Maybe.
Well, you will. I
don't really know.
Yeah.
I love it's such a pure college football reason, because fuck him. That's why.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to the C tier. We got Devin, Neal, RJ Harvey, Jayden Higgins, Trey Harris, Bhayshul Tuten, DJ Giddens, Jack Besh, Damian Martinez. Devin, Neal, very good. I'm trading seconds to get him. RJ Harvey, there's a lot to like. He's not my type of girl, but I get why he's your type of girl. And you're really hot on RJ Harvey. Let everyone know why. He really fast. He catch balls good. So
he breaks tackles. He's very, very athletic. He's a stud, regardless of whether you turn on the film or you look at the metrics. I put it this way. If this dude, I don't care. Well, first of all, I don't care the fact that he's 24. Don't care about that at all. And nobody else should care if you're playing Dynasty in a 3 to 4 year window. Doesn't matter.
With a running back.
And if he gets a job, like, it doesn't matter. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, running backs don't last anyway. Like, why would we waste?
Exactly. I mean, the thing about it is that people get lost in the sauce with the fact that he's 24. It's either he's really freaking good and he pays off on the pick where you draft him at in Dynasty rookie drafts, or he's not. And if he's really, really good, then he likely earns a second contract. I mean, dude, we see like the NFL is just doling out contracts to 28, 29, 30-year-old running backs nowadays that didn't happen 5 to 7 years ago. So if he's really good, he earns a second contract. And if he's not good, then it doesn't freaking matter whether he's 21 or 24 because he's not in your fantasy lineup anyway. So I'm going to bet on the talent. I'm going to bet on the athleticism. I'm going to bet on a running back that put up video game numbers and was the offense at UCF over the last 2 years and ranked top 20 in breakaway run rate and elusive rating. That's a player I will bet on 10 times out of 10.
Excellent. I can't. No notes. I really want to argue against that, especially the price that you're getting him at. Like what else are you going to bet on? But I'll give my hot take, and I'll let Thor crucify me. Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris. I hate them. Why am I wrong, Thor?
You're only you're
Oh
only you're only right
my.
to hate Trey Harris. But
Speaking
Higgins.
of the person who hates Lane Kiffin, apparently. Why you grinding an axe against Lane Kiffin? Next, you're going to be making slanderous comments about Deion Sanders, Thor.
But I mean, those guys. Okay, it's go back to the Ayomanor thing we were talking about. Both them guys got to stay on a straight line. So I mean, there is limitations there. I'll grant you, there's more limitations on trade than with Jayden. But
Gaslight me. I assess you.
Sorry. That was a gaslighting deeper. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As he smiles
deeper
from ear to ear, like the damn Grinch, just grinning the whole time he said it.
I can't. Yeah, I got to take the opportunity. But they're north-south boundary wide receiver twos in the NFL, right? I really like Higgins because he ain't drop anything, literally anything. I think it was 2.2% drop rate or last 3 years, career 3 flat. I'm pretty sure over like heavy volume. And the quarterback at Iowa State was friggin' trash. Like last year, Higgins, he had a gajillion targets. I need to pull up my sheet. He had a gajillion targets, and PFF got this stat of catchable targets. Higgins is one of the lowest in this class, and it was over heavy volume. It was 50%. Half of the balls that he was targeted were not charted as catchable, and he caught. There was a chunk of the non-catchable balls that just by extrapolation, that he caught. Right, like because of the amount of catches that he ended up having. So he's like a quarterback best friend type. He has a big catch radius. He drops nothing, and he saves incompletions or turns incompletions into completions. The route tree, yeah, you have to do it to his specifications. What do we decide? Maybe a crab tree is the thing in between the full route tree and a shrub. But anyway, he's somewhere in there, right? It's he can run the deep routes and he can do the slants. Anything where it's just straight line, he can do that. Hit him in the hands, he ain't gonna drop it.
Do you
want me to wax poetic on Jaden Higgins and Trey Harris and fight back at you, bud?
I figured that you were going to take the next 20 minutes talking about Trey Harris, so I should just get out of the way.
Well, as a known Lane Kiffin aficionado,
yeah, you sure are.
It's my legs here, buddy.
Yeah.
No, man. I mean, look, again, Jaden Higgins, he has some drawbacks to his game. Like, I have questions on did he go out and prove that he has the speed to get deep down the field at the combine? Yes, but I have questions about his ability to consistently stack corners, his ability to deal with press and stuff like that. The thing about Jaden Higgins, though, man, I mean, you look at his analytical profile, it's fantastic. I mean, top 18 in receiving grade last 2 years, top 27 yards per route run, doesn't drop anything. He is physical at the catch point, but there's still things with footwork and stuff. It's consistently like getting past guys on 9 routes and down the field. Now, if you want to work him on posts and crossers and stuff, you can deep overs. But my thing with Jaden Higgins, there are some drawbacks to his game. He's also not like a dynamic yak threat, but he can churn it out. But I want to see Jaden Higgins, if he ends up in a spot where, and this is why I'm really high on him, because we do see this happening a lot in the NFL, more zone coverage every single year. If there's a team like, bro, if he ends up again, talking about all this Michael Thomas hate, if he ends up in Denver, dude, Sean Payton can make him slant God number 2. Like, he could be the guy they
that's a selling point.
I want him to go to Denver or a team that's going to play him as, like, if he gets more of the Michael Thomas, CeeDee Lamb type of usage where we're getting 45, 50% slot and he is just gobbling dudes up, eating people alive in the underneath on breakers. I mean, we're off to the races, man. So that's why, like, depending on where he goes and stuff, my ranking could fluctuate a little bit, but I'm super sky high on Jaden Higgins. And Trey Harris, I will not stand for this slander, man. For the guy that people over the last 2 years, I could quote all this yards per route run metrics. I could quote all of this stuff. He's not a one-year wonder. And the Lane Kiffin stuff, dude, like, just I turn on the tape. I mean, he's a nasty route runner. He sets up cornerbacks, just exploits their blind spots. There's numerous times where clips and film where you can point out with Trey Harris where he's just making guys look silly. So I understand all the Ole Miss stuff, but when I pull up the tape on him, I think the tape stands up on its own. So, and again, people will throw out like, oh, he ran a 4.54 40 at the combine. Dude, how many times are we going to do this shit? I was told Puka Nacua was too slow. We were all had conversations about T. Higgins when he came out. Cooper Kupp couldn't get down the field. All these different guys that people said when they were prospects, oh, they're not fast enough. It's like, look, we can have a conversation about pure athleticism with tight end. We could talk about running backs being slow as shit. Wide receivers, it gets overblown, dude.
Yeah, 100%. Keenan Allen, baby. Moving down to the D tier. Sorry.
The tier.
Yes. Cam Scatterboom. Guys, he's a day 3 pick, probably, right? Right?
No, I think he's going day 2.
You think he's going day 2?
I think he's going 4th round. I think he's going
okay, bet. I bet against both of you.
Bet. Okay. Bet. Yeah. I'll take that bet.
I volunteer as tribute.
I met Matt.
I don't think you're making it out of the Hunger Games, bro. I think you're getting electrocuted.
Nah, dude. Scatterboom's going day 2.
All it takes is one coaching staff to fall in love with him, and he's the type of guy that I think they can. It's just I don't. A lot of people want to give him comps to David Montgomery, and I think that's valid but what he has that David Montgomery doesn't is route running chops. So, I'm willing to bet on him at his price. I know a lot of people were saying he was a 1st round pick there for a little bit, and I thought that was wild.
Are we talking fantasy or are we talking NFL draft round?
We're talking NFL draft round.
That's NFL draft.
Yeah. And I want to be very clear. He should have never been in the 1st round conversation. That should have never.
It was a fun week. It was a crazy week, dude. You remember that?
Ever.
I know. It was wild. Others in this is tight end central. I am grossly high on Mason Taylor and Terrence Ferguson. I have them ranked 19 and 20. I'm taking them in the 2nd round. Thor, does the NFL like Terrence Ferguson? I see the more and more hype building from real NFL people that he's going to go probably 2nd round. Mason Taylor, is there any smoke to that there?
I saw, who is it? Jeremiah had him, was it 32nd on his big board?
Is that Mason Taylor?
Yeah, Mason Taylor. Yeah, and then some people are slipping into the back of the 1st round.
That's crazy.
I don't get that.
That's crazy.
That to me, that would be an egregious reach. He's a 2nd round guy on my board. I think that's fair. Later on, 55 overall. I got him. I got Ferguson right behind there, 61. Those guys very close for me. They do a little bit different stuff. Both can play inline. Both will play inline. So appreciate that in a class where some of these guys are just the slots, whatever. But Taylor, he's really good with the short timing concepts. And they do like the split flow stuff, and then it'd be like play action, it'd be a bootleg around, and you know that Taylor's going to hit his spot after a chip, going to be foot in the dirt, you're going to turn around right where he's supposed to, and the ball's going to be on his hands. Like him and Nussmeier had a really good rapport, but the tough part about his profile, he's a decent blocker, no better in line, and that's going to be the case at the NFL level too. But as a receiver, that thing was good right there, and he doesn't drop any balls, right? So you had that, but he had a teeny tiny ADOT because that was essentially all he was doing. And while he didn't drop the ball any, he also didn't have any yak. And for a guy that didn't win down the field in college, to me that is a little concerning, right? You don't have the 3rd sector of the field thing on your film, even out to the deeper parts of the 2nd. Right. I mean, most of the catches, it was something I got it around here. I believe it was 70% of Mason Taylor's career catches came within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Right. And last year he only broke, it was like 3 or 4 tackles all season. Right. And again, that's the thing that should be facilitated for you when you're getting the ball there. Right. You're not going to down the field, whatever. It's an efficiency player at this time. I was watching him closely at the Senior Bowl to see if he could win downfield. They never sent him down there at LSU. And he made a couple of decent plays down the field, but it's a total black box on his evaluation as a whole. He's obviously being propped up by his name, his bloodlines, etc. If Terrence Ferguson, if you just made his name Mason Taylor, and then Mason Taylor, now he got to be Terrence Ferguson. The Terrence Ferguson, who's now Mason Taylor, would probably be going in the 1st round.
What's funny in my head just now when you were giving that, I was like, he just convinced me to swap Terrence Ferguson because like Terrence Ferguson wins downfield all over the place, great blocker.
Yeah, you should have Ferguson ranked over Taylor. I hate to say this, but it's gonna hate. Hold on. Pose myself.
Wait.
Go ahead. You got your screen record ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I hate to say this, but everything that Thor just said is absolutely right. Mason Taylor is one of the most overrated prospects in this entire damn class, man. Jason Taylor, the fact that he's his daddy, is doing so much water carrying. There is no way in hell, all the respect to Daniel Jeremiah, there is no way in hell Mason Taylor should be a first-round graded prospect.
Yep.
There is not a world that any of us should live in that Mason Taylor, and I'm just going to spit some numbers to back up this. Over the last 3 years, 63rd, 99th, 94th in yards per route run, 36th, 119th, 98th in receiving grade. Mason Taylor, and I've looked this up while Thor was going through it. Over the last 2 years, 64.5 to 85.1% of his targets have come either behind the line of scrimmage or within 9 yards of the line of scrimmage. Anybody want to throw it out there? Like how many in his career, 3 years at LSU, and I'll even give you the number of receptions, 129 receptions. Jagger, how many missed tackles forced do you think old Mason Taylor forced in 3 seasons with that many receptions?
Please tell me it's more than 10.
I don't know that it is. Is it? Did he get right over 10?
14.
Okay.
He had no more than 5 missed tackles forced in any season and no higher than 1.23 yards per route run in any season. I like Mason Taylor as a starting quality tight end.
For fantasy.
But the part that everybody can miss me with, where in the hell in everything that I just laid out and Thor laid out, where's the ceiling? Where is the ceiling in his game for him to pay off as being a top 32 draftable grade? Where in the hell is his ceiling? Do you think he's actually going to be a guy that commands 130, 140 targets? He's going to be a guy that could be Mark Andrews, George Kittle, any one of these guys that are truly elite, a Sam Laporta. Hell no. That's what I don't understand. Like, where's the ceiling from? And I'm sorry, Jagger, but like, you tell me, where's the ceiling outcome? Like, in the best case of circumstances for Mason Taylor, what is his ceiling? Tight end, what in Dynasty?
I mean, what you told me is like, wow, he sounds like a Dalton Schultz, you know? Like at best, like I'm not joking. Like at best, like you know, like
he's like a Dalton Schultz, a Cade
Jake
Otton,
Ferguson.
Yes, Jake Ferguson. That in the best case of scenarios, if everybody in the passing game gets injured and is out, can he be the guy that gets all the targets on a weekly basis? Maybe, but is that a guy on a talented team that's going to command volume? No way in hell. I don't see it.
He only had four catches in his career, 20+ air yards, and I think it was 16 targets. He just, like I said,
top 32 on the board, right? Top 32. Mm-hmm. Nope.
I mean, this is one of the few times you guys like firmly changed my mind. Like, and that's hard to do, but I'll give you credit on
because
there.
Because it's
like,
all narrative and last name propping him up. That's it.
Because everyone told me I was.
When you strip it away and look at his film and look at his numbers, there is nothing to support that case. Nothing.
And it was DJ that did it for me, to be honest. Like, I'll give 100% because like he's one of these scouts where I'm like, well, maybe I should check it because like everyone told me I was crazy to have T-Ferg as tight end 3.
I got Terrence Ferguson tight end 4 right above Mason Taylor at tight end 5.
And that's like a tier, you know, like that's just because there's no other tight ends between Ferguson and Taylor, it sounds like. Last one, and then I'll do a quick rapid fire for time. Jalen Milroe, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
It's all tied to draft capital. If he goes in round 1, round 2, then fine, people will take him as a rushing upside quarterback, but just know that if he doesn't improve as a passer, we are literally talking about the second iteration of Justin Fields and Anthony Richardson about a team maybe giving up on him fast. So
I was about to say Justin Fields sounds like best case scenario. I was like, Justin Fields is best. Yeah.
Maybe.
And I was like,
I mean, dude, he's a hard worker. He's a really good kid. I'm not going to take it away that maybe he can improve in his game. My question is, where he's starting at, how much can he improve? And does that become like borderline passable? Like, is he just decent enough as a passer? I just have a hard time living in a world where I think he becomes like a top tier level passer. But again, I could be wrong on him.
Thor, final thoughts before rapid fire on Milroe?
Well, I got a conspiracy theory on Milroe. I think I got the mystery team on Milroe.
Oh,
you know, I've been stuck in this. I haven't been out of this room in 4 months. You know, I started, clawing out the windows, trying to see the sunlight. I've been stuck in my bunker. Back here at night, we're doing on the corkboard, Charlie Day, and I think I finally got there on Milroe. I think it's the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns, their offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, was the offensive coordinator at Alabama 2023 when Milroe looked by far the best he ever had. He looked like a potential future number one overall pick that year. And then this past season, he still looked like that through September, the last game of which he shredded Kirby Smart's defense like you never see anybody shred him. But then after that, it became this push and pull and fight with Kalen DeBoer, who wanted him to stay in the pocket on passing concepts. Milroe likes to have the option to bail, right? And they changed the offense. He got the rushing back on design rushing concepts, which they didn't do under Tommy Rees. But Tommy Rees knows how to use Jalen Milroe, as Andrew Berry, interestingly enough, the Browns GM, last week at his press conference. Everyone focused on the stuff he said about Travis Hunter. I thought the more fascinating comments were about Milroe. He meant, someone asked him, having Tommy on the staff, does it help you with evaluating Jalen Milroe? He's, oh, yeah. And, and then there, he brought up that he thought Milroe would become the fastest quarterback in the NFL, faster than Lamar from day one. And then they were like, oh, having Tommy there, does that, system, would you, have you thought about the system? And he was like, oh yeah, this is a guy who has physical tools that are different from other quarterbacks in the NFL. So of course you're going to build an offense around him. It's like, oh my God, he is telling reporters, the team that employs his former offensive coordinator, I am admitting to the media that we have already talked about that we have considered offensive alterations to facilitate Jalen Milroe being a Cleveland Brown. No one's reporting this. I can't, everyone want to focus on all these dumb, lazy media stuff. This thing right here is right in front of people's faces. We know there's a mystery team on Jalen Milroe. Why? Because the NFL gave him one of the most shocking NFL draft invites that we've gotten in the last decade. That floored everybody. No one had any information. Why did Jalen Milroe get an invite? It's either that the NFL doesn't know what it's doing. I don't think it's that, right? They generally don't make mistakes with these kind of things, or it's that the NFL has information. There is a team or teams seriously consider taking him in the first round. And I think that would be the Cleveland Browns hopping up a spot or two, like a Xavier Legette kind of a thing, if they can't get up for Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur Sanders falls into the teens, I think that's where the Browns can get involved with him. I don't think the Browns ever seriously considered taking a quarterback at number 2. I think their plan was always to pony up the draft. They have an enormous amount, day 2, day 3, first pick in the second round, 33, say the second or third one in the third. They have another third one after that. And they have a billion picks in round 6 for some reason.
Yeah, I was like, don't they have like 4, 6 too, Thor? Something like that?
They own half of round 6. Like it's like a monopoly board, and the Browns got everyone on one of the things. But because of this, they have more draft picks than they have roster spots to hold them. You will see Cleveland trade up. I think the plan has always been plan 1. If Shedeur falls into the middle of the first round, we got the ammo to move up. What would be worth it on the trade charts for the 15th pick, the Falcons ran this one because the Falcons have the least draft equity in this draft, 4 draft picks total. Half of them are in the 7th round. So they're the bizarro Browns. Fit well for a trade here. If the Browns were to trade 33, both their 3rd round picks and a 4th round pick in 2026, that is worth the 15th pick. I think the Falcons would say yes to that. They could still project that you can get one of the top 6 edges at the 33rd pick. Almost assuredly James Pierce, who everyone else is out on, but he'd be just what Atlanta needs. They need the guy that can, ramp up the heat on the quarterback right away. So I think Atlanta would do that. I think the Browns would probably do that. So if Shedeur starts falling, Browns team to monitor. But if he doesn't, or if the Browns can't get access, let's say someone falls into those spots, those teams weren't expecting to be there, there's a complication with it. I think the backup is Jalen Milroe. I think the Browns going into that draft, we got the draft's best player in our pocket to begin with, and we're coming out with one of those 2 other quarterbacks. It's going to happen. That's what I think.
I don't disagree with you at all, and I'll add something on top of that. I think you look at the back end of the teams. I honestly think they're just going to trade into the back end and get Jalen Milroe as well. I saw the same quote you did, Thor, and I took it the exact same way. So, full agreement there. And then I think that the Browns could trade into the. You have a slew of teams that need more equity. Like, tell me, Thor, do you think Kwesi would trade away the 24th pick for a haul to the Cleveland Browns at 24?
Yeah, you bail out of there for sure.
Yeah, Minnesota could trade back.
Only
Washington could trade back.
Yeah.
The Chiefs could trade back. The Eagles are always live to trade back. I just rattled off 5 teams at the end of the first round that could trade back. I'll add one thing on top of this. If they take Jalen Milroe at the back end of the first round, and then Cleveland goes Hunter and then Milroe, I think you lock it in because you look at how they would design that offense, because Joe Flacco will probably start the first few weeks. Then they transition to Milroe at some time during the season. Considering the composition of their roster, you can lock them in. They will be drafting a running back in the 3rd round that they can lean on because they don't have that guy on the roster right now.
Yeah,
interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
Before we get out of here, 30 seconds. Harold Fandon Jr., Debro, we cooked.
Yeah, I think he's a tweener. I think he's going to fall low, and I think we've seen this. I think he's closer to getting Jaheim Bell than he is to being a 2nd-round pick in the NFL draft. I hate it, but I think it's reality.
Thor, you agree?
No.
Interesting.
I like Harold. Yeah, I mean, I got him tight end 5 on my board for NFL draft, but like for fantasy, I probably have 3 or 4.
I got him tight end 6.
I wish
I think we're just to buy it on draft capital.
The guy that I don't like Arroyo. He's the guy that I think is overblown.
See, and I have Arroyo at tight end 3. That's where we divide.
Okay.
Ty Felton, 2nd round, buy or sell, Thor?
Rookie draft, the NFL draft.
NFL.
Okay. I'm selling that, but I am buying him as like an intriguing dart throw. You know, if the price point gets there, you know, if it's later round 3, early round 4. And that's because I love the way that he moves, and you do see playmaking ability there, of course. He has to he has to clean up the catch point stuff. And if he does, I think you have a solid long-term starter there. But if he doesn't, he could get escorted out of the league earlier. So it's like, for me, and I referenced this at one of them other receivers, but like, it's a crappy receiver class. I don't want to reach up for one of the very few sure thing ones, you know, like I would rather in this class not devote the equity, but I would take the shots on the higher ceiling guys later on, and maybe you run into one if you need a receiver, right? And Felton would be on my short list of guys where I think the ceiling is legitimate, and it justifies the middle round thing there. But I do think that there is risk in that profile, which is why I couldn't make him a 2nd rounder.
Kai Williams, buy or sell, day 2 pick.
So
that one, I'll buy that one. I think he's going in round 3.
Okay. Last one, Woody Marks or LaQuint Allen. Do you think either of them will make it with their pass catching profile, or you think they're both going to crash out? Debro, you think they're going to crash out?
I mean, I think they can make it as passing down backs, but I don't see them being anything outside. They don't have the early down utility to be more than maybe a passing down guy.
Thor, what do you think?
LaQuint Allen, I think hangs around for a while. I think LaQuint Allen has a real shot, whatever team he goes to be the best pass down back on it. Good pass blocker, good receiver. Seen the kid win out of the slot, put him in the boundary. Maybe in the NFL, you're not going to do quite as much of that, but like, I like him as a receiver. I think of him as my comp for him was Rachaad White, and he's a better pass blocker than Rachaad White, but the similar receivers. And then he's like a poor man's Rachaad White as a runner. So that's where like the value of LaQuint Allen, like to me, it's just on the passing downs. You're going to have better runners than him on your roster, I believe, but that's what's going to justify him. Woody Marks might be quadruple A, and I hate to say it for him. Woody Marks started with Mike Leach, the Air Raid, RIP, the Pirate up in heaven. But that's, you know, Woody Marks started at Mississippi State, and he showed there, you know, playing the Air Raid, get, you know, a good pass down back. And then later in his career, got to do more of the conventional running type stuff. So you see him do both, but like, he's not great at any of them, right? Like, in the passing game. You know, it gives you a little bit of efficiency, but is Woody Marks ever going to be one of the 32 best pass catching backs walking the face of the earth? I would be pretty surprised. And if not, then his running utility would have to carry the day. I don't think he's a good runner. You know, like I don't think he's going to be in the top 90 of that. Right. So it's like he really, same thing with LaQuinn Allen, really have to be a top 30, 32 of those guys walking the face of the earth. I actually think LaQuinn Allen can be, and maybe even early, whereas Woody Marks, I just think he's too limited. It is a well-rounded skill set, but I believe it's that of a quadruple A player.
Noted. Well, we got to get Debro out of here. As always, I'm Jagger May.
These are rookies. An hour ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, they got to go fight. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
So I thought I needed.